Welcome to the Candle Business Coach podcast, a show about the craft of candle making and small business. I'm your host, Kirsty Allen, and I'm a candle maker, mum of three, and kindness advocator. Join me as I dive into all things candles and small business and deliver advice and tips to you in episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Are you on the list to get my daily motivation emails? Every day I'll send you a message that is designed to help keep you focused on taking action toward your goals. Sign up using the link in the show notes. Exciting news! Doors are open for only 2 more days for this round of candle craft. If you're a candle maker that's been stuck in thinking and planning mode for too long, or looking for ways to transform and grow your candle business, then get excited too, my friend. What's candle craft, I hear you ask? It's an 8-week course designed for candle makers to get you into taking the most effective action with your candle business so you can generate more income, make a bigger impact for yourself and your family, and enjoy more freedom in your business and life. Details to learn more and sign up are in the show notes. Don't forget, doors close on Sunday night, and if you have any questions about Candlecraft, send me a DM on Instagram at Candle Business Coach. Welcome back to the podcast, my friend. Today on the show, I have with me the lovely Lana, who is a fellow candle maker. Lana, would you like to say hello to the listeners and tell them a little bit about yourself?
Hi guys, thanks for joining. So I'm from Sydney, Australia. I'm 26 years old. I currently work in an admin and warehousing role. It's a little bit of a weird combo. I've been with my partner for 9 years, engaged for a year now.
Lovely. And how did you get started with candle making?
I started off doing a lot of research because I've always had a love of candles and I got that from my mum. So we started off doing a lot of research about all the different wax types, what scents I'd want to get, which different types of wicks and whatnot. So we started off with soy wax and we have stuck with that the whole time because it's a lot better than paraffin wax.
So you said that you're from Milky Way Creations. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you started your business and the meaning behind the name?
The meaning behind the name, my dad and I both share a love of space and we both find it so fascinating and beautiful. And I've always loved like the night sky, looking up at the stars, learning about the universe because it's so fascinating. And I tried to think up of a name to do with like space. And so that's just how I came up with Milky Way Creations.
I love that. It has such a positive connotation and as you say, it reminds you of space and the universe and it just has a lovely ring to it. I really like it.
Yeah, and it's a good tie-in with my dad too because I got my love of candles from my mum. So to kind of tie my dad into that one too, came up with Milky Way.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And so how did your business begin? Like you said before, how you got started with candle making, but how did you start your actual...
I just sat down with my business partner. He's kind of like a silent partner. He doesn't do too much anymore. I kind of run the show with my fiance. We just kind of started throwing back ideas, back and forth of like what we could do, what we could create, what we could bring out. And that's when we started talking about bringing out like candles and melts. And we also have like crystals.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I feel like with your product range, it's varied enough that it can attract different sorts of customers depending on what their interests are as well, but you're still staying true to what's important to you and your business, which is really important.
Yeah, definitely.
So when thinking about when you run your business, how do you manage to complete all the relevant tasks needing to be done?
Well, when I get home from my day job each day, if I was to go and sit down, I'm not going to get anything done that afternoon. So I like to get home, I start either working on the website, coming up with new product ideas, ordering crystals or any candle related stock. I like to go and make my candle orders, test out new candles or melts and create new products or just work on making draft posts for social media.
Yeah, so there's quite a lot that's pulling you in different directions depending on whether you've got multiple orders to fill or if you've got just to make online. So it can be hard sometimes to navigate all the different tasks needing to be done on a daily basis, but you seem to have a good handle on that, which is amazing.
Yeah, well, I always prioritize orders over everything because I like to get them done and out to customers after they're all cured and everything. And then after that just comes like, testing new products, coming up with new product ideas, buying stock.
So tell us about your biggest win.
Biggest win? I haven't really had too many big wins so far. So I guess the biggest win for me is just having those that place multiple orders with me. So just repeat customers, whether it be on my live sale or through my website. I just like knowing that a customer likes my products and is happy to order from me time and time again.
It's such a reassuring feeling when you do have those repeat purchases from the same customer. Yeah. It helps to reaffirm that you're on the right path if they're loving what you're doing as well. What's been your biggest challenge so far?
Getting the consistent orders through the website or even on my live sales. It's just hard to find new customers to purchase my products. And, during COVID, when we had all the lockdowns and everything, people had a lot more disposable income when everything was bad. And now that all the shops have opened back up, people are going out to more shops and they're spending less time online buying through small businesses.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. Having spoken to several different candle makers recently, that seems to be the common theme, is that people are struggling to find customers based on the economy. So I can appreciate where you're coming from.
Yeah, I've spoken to numerous other small businesses, ones who, sell crystals, candles, and just seems to be kind of struggling to get that momentum back that was happening during the lockdown period.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about Milky Way Creations?
Yeah, so we are actually starting to organise, getting ready to do some markets in the up and coming weeks and months. We have pretty much everything we need to be able to start doing the stalls. It's been a long plan in the making. We were originally going to start doing them when we first started the business. But then when I had started the business, that's when the lockdown started, because I started it, during COVID. I was one of the businesses that started during COVID. So we kind of put off the markets time and time again, and we thought now the time was right to start actually getting everything ready, start applying for them, and that's something we're really excited to start doing, get out into the public, get to meet everyone in person instead of just on my live sales or chatting on Instagram.
Yeah, and it's important as well because selling candles, for example, is a product best experienced in person because the people can't smell a candle through your website or through a live sale.
Exactly.
So being able to actually watch them experience the scent and hear them share their memories of what that scent evokes for them is really special and one of my favorite things about doing markets. So I wish you all the success
really
with your
excited.
first market. It's going to be a lot of fun. What do you wish you knew when you first started making candles?
Honestly, there isn't too much that I wish that I knew before I started making candles, because in the long run, I knew it was going to be a process of just learning and figuring out everything on my own, trial and error of making the candles, figuring out which wicks we needed, which was the best soy waxes for us, which scents to use, the percentages. I just knew the whole thing was going to be a learning process. So I'm kind of okay that we started with no knowledge whatsoever. We've learnt a lot in the past 2 years.
Yeah, and it's a constant education being involved with candles. It's not something that you can learn or master quickly. It's something that you're constantly learning along the way, which is one of the things I really enjoy about the process, is that even if you think you've learned as much as you can, the second that you try a different wax or a different fragrance oil, you then have to learn about that as well. So it's an enjoyable journey, but it's definitely one that's full of twists and turns.
Yeah, exactly.
Are there any challenges you faced when you first started making candles?
Coming up with the perfect method to make our candles, to give them the best hot and cold scent throw with long-lasting scent, and just trying to figure out which wicks worked best with all 4 of our glass jar sizes, because we have medium, large, extra large, and extra, extra large. So obviously they're all different sizes, so you just need to try and figure out which cotton and wood wicks work best in them. That was probably the biggest challenge to start off with.
And it's so satisfying when you crack the code and you find the perfect combination. So good on you for continuing to persevere through that, because I know how challenging it can be. And you almost pull your hair out sometimes because you think, oh, why can't I just find the right combo? But when you do, it's like the heavens open up and it's a very positive feeling.
And it's so rewarding when you do get the right method down pat.
Yes, and then you can replicate it. The more candles you make, the more you can stick with that recipe.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most important strength someone would need to have to be successful as a candle maker?
Definitely persistence. If something doesn't work, just try again, change your method. You can always work out a problem if you just keep trying, putting the work in.
Definitely. And it can take time, and being aware that you won't master it straight away and that it is a journey is important to know as well.
Yeah, exactly. No, it takes a long time to try and figure it out. I've been working on a candle at the moment for months now. I'm getting there.
But that's the reality. It's not necessarily, or it's definitely not just purchasing the first wick and any wax and just putting them together and it works. Like, it takes potentially months of testing to find the right wick size, the right fragrance load for the candle, and the particular jar that you're using.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about candle making?
Don't get discouraged through the journey. If it takes you a while to get the perfect method, it's like that for absolutely everyone who makes candles. We all have to go through that.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage for sure.
Yeah.
So what does your weekly routine look like?
Mondays is usually my rest day where I just relax, watch TV, do some house chores around the unit and just kind of chill. I don't do too much to do with the business. Tuesdays, I set up my live sale for the following night. I get all my crystals out, and if I'm having a sale, I'll sit down and reprice all the crystals. Wednesdays, we do our live sale at 7:30 p.m. on Instagram. When the live sale's over, I respond to any messages, send people any photos of videos or of the products if they weren't able to make it to the live sale. And then I start making and sending all the invoices out to my customers. And then I take my butt to bed.
Yes, it's a big process involved.
Thursdays is usually the day that I start packing any live sale orders that have been paid for. And by me, I mean my fiance, because he doesn't like it when I pack orders. I don't do it right. So that's become his job now. So we pack them. And then if I have any orders, I'll start making my candles and start fulfilling those. Friday, again, is just more order packing because some people pay on the Friday. And again, more order making, test some products if I have any new products in the making, because then I can burn them over the weekend, maybe on the Sunday or something. And then Saturday mornings, I get up and I use the morning sunlight to photograph any crystals or new products that I need to release on the website. Then my fiance and I walk up to the post office. We drop off any orders that we've had through the week or through the live sale. Then we come home and I will upload draft products from the items that I've photographed on the table, and I'll either make them available on the website then, or I'll put up a story with a poll and I'll ask people like, when do you want these to be released? And I, usually give them 3 to 4 days to choose from, and then we'll pick a day, and then, a few days later I will release. And then Sundays, I usually sit down and I plan my posts for Instagram for the week, figuring out which photos I'll use, what my caption's going to be. And then again, if there's any orders that I need to make, I sit down and I make them. And then, Sunday night I just kind of rest and watch TV.
I think it's great that you've got structure within your week. I think that's one thing that a lot of people need to have in their arsenal, is to have a flexible routine, but something that you can follow where all the different tasks are getting accomplished without overwhelming you during the week.
It took me a while to, get a good routine down, but I finally am in a stage where I know what I need to do each week and, what's most important and what I need to prioritize. So yeah, I'm happy with that where I am now.
What's your favorite thing?
I love creating new candles with pretty toppers, like my fairy candles. They are probably my favorite at the moment. I think I have about 6 fairies currently in my stock to make candles with, and then I have another 10 to 20 coming in to make some more fairy candles. I'm super excited to do them. I've got more mushies, so we're going to have a lot of variety of colors with them. And then I have I think it's about 8 different colored hydrangeas I have, so I'm going to chuck some of those in with some glitter. It's just super exciting to always come up with new decorations on your candles. I have a bunch of different crystal candles out there. It's so fun, the creative process of candle making and just, designing something for the top. A lot of people, they'll get a fairy candle, they won't burn it. And I totally understand that. I have a beautiful candle from Figstone. I can't burn it. It's too pretty. It's in this little shell bowl with it has shells in it. It's got some dried fruit. It's got selenite. It's got some crystals. And I can't bring myself to burn it. It's so pretty. And my house smells amazing, even with the cold scent throw from it.
That's so good. And it's so reassuring to know that it's not just me that doesn't burn candles because they look really nice.
Nope, my mum's the same. I got her one for her birthday and she's like, I can't burn it. It's too pretty.
Because candles are a decor item. They help to elevate a space, and to have a candle that looks beautiful as is, it almost feels wrong to put a flame next to all the like the wick and the decorations.
Yeah, I know. They look so pretty unburnt, and then after you burn it, you got like your blackened wick, and I'm like, not so pretty now.
Yes, that's right.
But at least it makes your house smell nice.
That's true. That is a benefit of having a scented candle.
Yeah, you'd want to hope it'd smell nice, otherwise you haven't done a very good job.
Yeah, well, that's true. Unless it's an unscented candle, and then it shouldn't.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you start your candle business, there are so many things to consider and research along the way, especially when it comes to choosing the right suppliers. Long Story Short provides all your design and printing needs, from your logo and branding to designing and printing your product labels. The quality is exceptional, the customer service is amazing, and prices are very reasonable. They're the only label company I recommend, so check out their website or send them an email today to get started. hello@longstoryshortdesign.com.au. So what's one lesson your journey has taught you that you think everyone should learn at some point in their life?
When things get tough, don't give up. Just keep on going. Things will always get better or get easier for you. It's so rewarding to think like that you've pushed through the hard times and to get to a good end result. But I mean, if you need a break and you need to take a step back from everything for yourself, do that. And then get back into the swing of things when you're feeling better.
Yeah, no, that's so lovely.
Don't give up. Yeah.
So coming off the back of that question, I'll ask, what gives you the motivation to keep going?
Honestly, I think about how far I've come over these past 2 years of having my business, all of the beautiful candles and melts that I've created, the weekly live sales that I now do. And I'm so thankful for all the businesses and friends that I've made along the way. You know, there's always going to be other small businesses who cheer you on. They give you nonstop support, give you motivation when you're lacking it. And then, of course, your friends and sometimes your family will do that too. And then I think about all the people who've purchased from me, whether it's one order or a customer who's done, multiple orders with me. It's just nice to know that people are happy to spend their hard-earned money on some of the items that I've created. It gives you such a warm and fuzzy feeling, and I honestly feel truly blessed.
It's true, because the reassurance that you get from customers purchasing from you, as I said before, it reaffirms that you're on the right path, so that when you're having those tough days or those down days or those challenging moments, you can look to those memories and those, facts that they've purchased your candle or purchased your products, and you know that you're doing the right thing by continuing, because you wouldn't have started that venture unless you wanted to see it through to completion.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any productivity hacks that you can share with the listeners?
I think there's probably only one hack that I use. Like when I'm making either big batches of candles and melts, as long as they don't have different colored waxes, because I do offer a variety of different colors in both my melts and my candles, I'll measure out the wax for a few candles and I'll melt it all down. And then I have different jugs that I pour my scent into, and I get my little paddle pop sticks out, and then I weigh the amount of wax into the scent. I'll stir it around and I'll pour it into one candle jar, and then I'll move on to the next one, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a lot easier to just melt down a big batch of wax. And then if I did have a colored candle and there was only one out of, say, 5, I would do all the non-colored ones, and then I would heat the wax back up, put the color in, let it cool back down, and then I would pour the colored one. So it's really easy if you just can do batches. It just depends on kind of if you offer color, and
even if you're just offering a variety of fragrances, knowing that you can make each fragrance one by one, but by measuring out the wax first and the fragrance oil ahead of time can save a lot of time when you are making more than one candle.
Yeah, exactly. Because if I have like 5 different colored candles, I'd have to, weigh out the wax for one, melt that down, pour that candle, then go wash up, then come back and do it all again.
That's right. And it can take a bit of time if you've got a large product range and multiple orders to fill.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you define success?
Probably just getting consistent daily orders and not just like one or two, but maybe 5 or 10 orders a day. That'd make me feel pretty successful. I'd love to get to the stage one day where I get multiple orders per day, maybe be able to work for myself instead of working for a bigger company and then, working for myself in my spare time.
Yes, that's right, because a lot of us, our candle businesses are our side hustle, but a lot of us also want to have it as a full-time gig, and being able to make that transition is a goal that a lot of us are striving for.
Yes, that's my biggest goal, and I'd love to get there one day, but I don't expect it to happen anytime soon.
It's true. It does take time to make the transition from a part-time hobby or business into a full-time business, and knowing that it takes time, but if you work consistently towards your goals, they are achievable.
Yeah, exactly.
Are there any tools that are indispensable when it comes to running your...
Since we create all of our own melt and candle labels, Canva has to be the most useful tool we have. We did have the free version, but we upgraded to the paid version when we realized how many different fonts and pictures and all of that we were missing out on being able to use for our candle stickers. So we got that, and it's amazing, the candle stickers that we've been able to make because of that. Due to us getting that, we made our really pretty fairy candle labels and everything. And the one other thing that goes hand in hand with us being able to make our own labels is our Heidi Mink foil machine. So we're able to foil some of our labels. If you have seen like our normal range of candles with like the medium, large, extra large, and extra, extra large, we foil those with a really beautiful silver holographic foil. And it really just makes the candles like pop and stand out rather than just having, a boring black ink.
Yeah, and I've seen on your Instagram stories where you actually do the peeling back of the sticker, and it's just so satisfying to watch and to see all the glimmer and the holographic color appear. I highly recommend everyone go follow you on Instagram, even just for that, because it's so satisfying.
Thank you. Yeah, I always like doing that, and cutting wicks. That's always a fun one to make as well.
Yeah, it's just so satisfying doing those little tasks. And you think about all the different things you do on your candle making journey. When you go from raw ingredients to finished product, being able to go through all those little steps, it's just, you have such a sense of, satisfaction that you can create something from nothing and be able to share that creativity with others.
I need to actually start filming myself more often. I keep forgetting like the amount of times I put stickers on products or cut wicks or make candles. I just never think to film myself anymore. I just get straight into the task.
Yes.
And I never think about it until I get to the end. I'm like, oh, I should have filmed that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We live in a time now, because we've got social media and people are curious about behind the scenes, being able to sort of lift the curtain a little bit so that others can have a sneak peek at how we actually run our business. It benefits us and it benefits the customers and potential customers as well. But yes, the trick is remembering to actually push record.
Yeah, one of my most popular ones on either TikTok or Instagram was my fail video.
Oh, no.
I was pouring a candle, and then I looked away to look through the camera lens to make sure everything was in frame. And as I was pouring the wax, it dropped off the side of the candle jar, and you hear me swearing it. And people loved that.
Because it's relatable. Everyone makes mistakes. And to know that if you're showing others that you're not perfect, it helps them relate to you. Yeah.
If I just had have kept looking at the candle, I wouldn't have had the issue.
That's right. Because even if it wasn't in focus, you're not going to re-pour the candles. So you just have to trust that you've set the angle right with the camera, pour the candle, and then check the video afterwards, rather than trying to do both at once.
I learned my lesson.
Yes, and now everyone else has learnt the lesson too, so thank you for sharing.
And they got to have a giggle.
Yeah, that's right. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Owning and running your own business is honestly pretty much a 24/7 job. There's always something that needs doing, whether it's ordering stock, supplies, creating and testing new products, making, packing and posting orders, photographing products. Just honestly, the list goes on with the amount of things that go on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know that we need to do. And you have to be an extremely motivated, hardworking dedicated person who just truly loves what you do to be able to be a small business owner. You can't be in it just for the money. Obviously, the money, you have to have a business to get money, but you can't just be thinking about the money. You need to like what you're doing, appreciate the support you get back and like getting orders, because it's going to be a while before you see a decent profit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there are cases where some businesses take off really quickly, but for the majority of us, it does take time, and knowing that it will take time just helps reassure you that as long as you're doing all the right things and you're moving the needle in your business, you will get there eventually. It just depends on how hard or how effective you work as to how quickly those goals are realised.
Yeah, exactly.
We've come to my favourite part of the show, where I ask my podcast guests 3 questions. So, number 1, what is your favourite candle fragrance?
Ooh, that would have to be salted caramel ice cream.
Oh, that sounds so good.
It smells absolutely amazing.
Love it. Number 2, What do you love about candles?
I love how they make your house smell amazing. They can give it more of a homey feeling. And, although candles are mostly about the fragrance, I also love the fact that you can decorate them with glitters, crystals, flowers, for example, and they become a decorative item as well that you could just place on your shelf if you don't want to burn it.
And what is one piece of advice for new candle makers at the start of their journey? So if someone's considering starting their own candle business, what's a piece of advice you'd like to give them?
Definitely do lots of research about the wax that you would like to start using. And then you want to figure out which jars that you would want to use. And then from there, you need to figure out which wicks, whether it be cotton or wood wick. You need to figure out the burn radius and everything for it so that you make sure you get the right wick size that will burn to the edges of your candle, because you don't want it tunneling, because then it's never going to burn right, because we all know it. Well, actually, not everyone does, but some of us know about the candle memory, because if you don't burn it properly the first time, it'll start tunneling and then it will always burn that way. That's right. And it's incredibly frustrating when you get a candle that doesn't have the right wick in it and it just won't burn to the edges. So frustrating. Yes, I've been dealing with that with one of my candles at the moment.
Oh, no.
It was extremely different to something I've been doing. And I've tried, I think this is like test number 8 or 9 for this candle. This is the one I've been working on for months, and I've been trying wood wicks and cotton wicks in different sizes, and then double wicking and single wicking, and it's a process.
It is. Well, thank you so much, Lana, for being on the show with me today. I'd love for the listeners to be able to find out a little bit more about you. So where can they find you online?
So we have a website, Milky Way Creations .com.au, I think it is. You'd think I'd know my own website name.
That's right. I'll pop the link in the show notes so listeners can find you.
Yeah, and then we also have Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as Milky Way Creations.
Amazing. Well, thank you again for being part of the show. I really appreciate having you and chatting with you today.
That's okay. Thank you so much for having me on. I know I have some friends and family that are very excited to listen to this.
Oh, that's so good to hear. Well, hi, friends and family. And thanks everyone for listening today. I hope this episode added value to your candle making journey. Check out the show notes for all the links mentioned throughout today's episode. And if you would like to submit a question, send me a DM on Instagram at Candle Business Coach. And if you haven't already, download your free copy of my guide, 5 Simple Steps to Start Your Candle Journey. It contains tips and advice before you make your first candle, and details are in the show notes. Lastly, please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And thanks again for listening. Have a beautiful day.